YouTube, what it do? It's your boy TWV checking in for episode 23 of 40 years of WrestleMania with TWV, which means we are on a childhood favorite, my personal favorite WrestleMania, and the only WrestleMania I have a physical copy of. Yes, sir, I have the original WrestleMania 23, the 3-pack DVD. This is from WWE Home Video. I don't even think they do home video anymore since everything has went digital. If you look at it, there it is in its glory, the original packaging. You know what I'm saying? Everything on the back. This was a birthday gift from my aunt that passed away when I was a child. This is honestly, I've watched this WrestleMania so many times, like growing up. Like I have scratches on the back of the CDs as many times. I've taken it out of my PlayStation 3, my PlayStation 4, out of laptops that back in the day, because that's not a thing no more either. Laptops used to have CD players. I used to watch this on my older but younger sister's laptop. Like at one point I thought I lost one of the CDs and it got stuck in her laptop. I was able to charge the laptop one day, pull the CD off, and then the laptop died afterwards. So I have held on to this since at least 2008. So this is something that I cherish very dearly. It is in my display case in my own apartment right now to this day. I just literally took it out for today to watch it on my PlayStation 5 because I could have watched it on Peacock, but I wanted to physically open and touch this DVD because I have not watched it in some years because I've gotten older and everything with the streaming, like I said. But man, as a kid, I loved everything about this WrestleMania, man. Like I think it had in total, it had 8 matches on here. I like 3, 5. As an adult, I like 5 of them. As a kid, I love the entire pay-per-view. So it was an 8-match card. I like 5 out of the 8. One match is an honorable mention, so we'll knock that down to 4 matches. But hey, 5 out of 8 isn't a bad number. But with that being said, let's talk about a little bit of the history of WrestleMania 23. So WrestleMania 23 took place on April 1st, 2007 at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. It was the second WrestleMania to take place in the Detroit metropolitan area following WrestleMania III, which was held at the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. It was also the first WrestleMania to feature the ECW brand following its establishment as WWE's third brand in May 2006. It was the highest grossing pay-per-view event in professional wrestling history at the time, and this was the final WrestleMania to air in that 4:3 standard definition. If you don't know what 4:3 standard definition is, it's with the black bars on the side. After that, they went full HD, so the entire picture was on your full screen of your TV. My favorite thing about this WrestleMania was its set design. So I am kind of reading what the design was off of Wikipedia because I did look it up just because I was curious. The set design for WrestleMania 23 began development in October 2006 after WWE set designer Jason Robinson first received the final logo for the event. Robinson and his team first surveyed Ford Field in July 2006 and began planning out the staging and lighting designs. After returning to the stadium in January 2007 for more site surveying, Robinson and his team finalized the set design in February. The final design resulted in WrestleMania 23 having the largest set ever built for a WrestleMania event. At the time, it incorporated 414 LED video screens and automated lights, 10 spotlights, 56 searchlights, 5,000 feet of cable for pyrotechnics and other use, and 35 stage flamethrowers used to produce 30 feet high and 6 foot wide flames, all which gave this set a unique look for each performer's entrance. An expanded stage lighting element of 300 feet in width and 100 feet in height used for specialized stage lighting instruments. The ramp used to reach the ring from the entrance was set at 187 feet in length. Though it took 3 weeks to fully prepare, Ford Field set assembly began the week before WrestleMania 23. It was completed shortly before the day of the event. It took a week for 300 staff members unloading and working from 40 semi-trucks to build the set and assemble the event's lighting within Ford Field, far more usual than the 40 hours, 100 staff members, and 14 semi-trucks required for WWE's weekly television events at the time. After the event concluded, it took about 30 hours to disassemble the set, and the lighting also far more than usual for the usual 3 hours required for WWE's weekly television events. So man, WrestleMania 23, like I said, just has a special place in my heart because like this was my first WrestleMania that I ever seen on DVD, of course, and I ran it into the ground literally until the next year when I started going to my homie Quentin's house to watch WrestleManias for like the next 3-4 years until his parents stopped buying the pay-per-views, of course. But man, oh man, with that being said, let's get into the review. So the first match that I enjoyed, and I want to say this right now, this is probably the best WrestleMania Money in the Bank ladder match. Like this match was so insane. It had so many crazy spots. Like it's so memorable. Randy Orton was doing RKO's off the ladder. Edge was spearing people. Booker T picked up a mini ladder and Edge ended up getting the mini ladder and throwing it right into CM Punk's face. Matt and Jeff Hardy was in this match facing off against each other, but at one point they kind of teamed together where they basically annihilated Edge. Like Matt Hardy put Edge on the ladder bridge that was from like the barricade going into the ring, and then Jeff Hardy had jumped off like a 15 or 20-foot ladder doing a leg drop, breaking the ladder in half and breaking Edge in half. So them two technically got eliminated from it. So it went from an 8-man to a 6-man. Booker T was going to win the Money in the Bank ladder match at one point, and Jeff Hardy had Queen Sharmell like held hostage in the twist of fate, so he had to jump down to save his wife. And man, the conclusion of the match was Mr. Kennedy stealing it and winning the Money in the Bank ladder match. I don't think this turned out positive because I think Mr. Kennedy ended up either not cashing in or he cashed in and he failed, and then his push got clipped. I watched the thing about it not too long ago. His push got clipped because he injured Randy Orton in a match, and Randy Orton went backstage, kind of dicked him out of his spot, and so he was kind of clipped after that. But man, this was an amazing ladder match. It was 25 minutes of pure carnage. They had Hornswoggle in there at one point with Finley. Hornswoggle took a bump off the top of a ladder, man. It was pandemonium, man, and I loved everything about it. But with that being said, let's get to the next one. The first and only honorable mention of WrestleMania 23 is MVP versus Chris Benoit in a singles match for the WWE United States Championship. And this is an honorable mention only because it's under 10 minutes. You know my rules about matches under 10 minutes. They're normally lackluster. Luckily, this time it was two great in-ring performers with MVP and Chris Benoit. Unfortunately, this was Chris Benoit's last WrestleMania because later on in the year, of course, the tragic events with him in his life, which we will not speak on. If you know, like I've said before, happened. So, this is kind of stained in wrestling history. Watching the match back now as an adult and, knowing more about wrestling and how people were positioned back then, with more interviews coming out and things of that. Looking back on this, I did feel like MVP should have won. It's WrestleMania, kind of, changed the champ is the United States Championship. That was the mid-card championship. I'm not going to get on a tangent, but looking back on MVP's WWE career, him, Shelton Benjamin, definitely could have been WWE champions. This match was great. It was 9 minutes of the purest grabs. Chris Benoit ended up retaining the title. So this is the honorable mention of this WrestleMania. Definitely, if you have time to watch the entire show, this is a match worth watching. With that being said, let's get to the next one. The next match on this WrestleMania that I enjoyed was the title versus streak match, which was The Undertaker facing Batista for the World Heavyweight Championship. And man, these two were throwing hands. They were throwing hands, man. Undertaker was going crazy. Batista was going crazy. Batista power slammed Undertaker through an announce table, and that joint just imploded. Undertaker was diving over the top rope, man, at 6'10" and 300 plus pounds. This was before all the injuries and having surgery. Undertaker was moving around. Boy, he was in there moving and grooving. It was a beautiful match. Batista bombed him at the end. Undertaker kicked out. Undertaker caught him with the Tombstone Pile Driver. 1, 2, 3. We are 15-0, and Undertaker is your new World Heavyweight Champion. This match could have went a little longer, in my opinion, but at the same time, this was, you were locked in for the entire 15 minutes, 16 minutes basically. It clocked in at 15 minutes and 46 seconds. Like, this is slightly the best match on the card, but I have a little bit of favoritism to the final match on this card. but they're like 1A, 1B, and man, like watching them back now and just understanding like wrestling as more as the in-ring psychology, just the spots and the moves and things of that nature. Like this was a great match. This is a 5-star, so it's gonna be 2 5 stars on this pay-per-view. 2 5 stars on the pay-per-view. This is the first one, and man, go watch it if you got 16 minutes. Like I recommend you go watch this today or tomorrow. Whenever you see this video, you go watch Undertaker versus Batista at WrestleMania 23, and you jump back in the comments and be like, yeah, that shit was amazing. But with that being said, let's get to the next one. The next match that I enjoyed was the Battle of the Billionaires hair versus hair match with Stone Cold Steve Austin as a special guest referee, which was Bobby Lashley being the wrestler for Donald Trump's side, and Umaga, rest in peace to Umaga, being the wrestler for Mr. McMahon's side. And the match, it was a good match, but it was the shenanigans and everything after it that made this match like really great. As you know, in real life, Trump, McMahon, if you're not living under a rock, you know about these two guys. So we're gonna separate that and just the wrestling side of everything. And you know what I'm saying? It was, hey man, I enjoyed it as a kid. I thought this shit was the coolest shit in the world. But as an adult, it's like it's still cool, but it was just like looking back on this match, like it's a gimmicky match, of course. Like you know how I feel about gimmicky matches, but this was a decent one. And man, they had all type of running. Shane McMahon ran in and hit the coast to coast to Bobby Lashley. They had knocked down Stone Cold. Umaga hit him with a Samoan spike like 2 or 3 times. Then Stone Cold got back in, and Stone Cold stunned Umaga, and Bobby Lashley hit the spear. That's how Bobby Lashley won. And Vince McMahon tried to run out of there and get away from getting his hair shaved. And Bobby Lashley hawked him down up the entrance ramp and carried him back down. And Donald Trump and Bobby Lashley and Stone Cold Steve Austin all shaved Mr. McMahon bald. Like as a kid, I was just like, yo, he's really bald. Like I was into it, but man, not too much else to say. Like it was a gimmick match, but I'll give it a 4. It was really cool. With that being said, let's get to the next one. The last match that I enjoyed on WrestleMania 23 was the main event of Shawn Michaels versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. And oh my, TWV 7-star out the gate. This is John Cena's best match in his career, in my opinion. Like the work he did in this match, the back and forth with him and Michaels, like Cena was taking some crazy bumps in this match. Like he took a spike pile driver on top of the steel steps. He was in there bleeding. This is like one of the few matches when Cena bled, so like he really was going for it. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. John Cena thrown Shawn Michaels into the ring post and he was bleeding. Like man, they went in there and went crazy. Like Shawn Michaels was working on John Cena's left knee, and Cena was selling that for a good portion of the match before he turned into Super Cena, of course. But man, as a kid, it was like watching this for the first time. I watched this for the first time as a kid. I thought John Cena was gonna lose, and he ended up, coming back, and he didn't win in normal Cena fashion. He didn't hit him with an FU. He had to make Shawn Michaels tap out, bro. Like that shit was crazy. It was crazy as a kid. But man, this was a 28-minute banger. And it started from pre-match. Like the WrestleMania 23, John Cena's entrance for WrestleMania 23 is my favorite entrance of all time, bro. He drove the black and gold Mustang outside of Ford Field into the arena. He drove through the glass. Boom, jumped out the Ford, walked around, ran up the side of the stage and jumped up onto the stage and came down. Like man, everything. John Cena had so much aura back in 2007 when I was a kid, bro. Like I'm about to put a picture up of me wearing a John Cena t-shirt back in the day. Bam, it's right there. Like John Cena was my favorite wrestler, bro. Like to this day, he's still my favorite wrestler. Like he's on my Mount Rushmore. He's my GOAT. Shawn Michaels is one of my goats too. He's on my Mount Rushmore. But man, this is definitely a recommended watch, man. You gotta go watch this one too, man, because like this was some graps, man. This was some graps. Like this ain't Michael's best match, because Shawn Michaels' best match. I'm gonna have to rewatch a couple of these joints. Because right now, Shawn Michaels' best match for me is the Iron Man match with him and Bret Hart. But a lot of people do love the double the series of Undertaker and him in the next couple coming WrestleManias. But right now, that Iron Man match, like I tell you now, boy, that hour-long Iron Man match with him and Bret Hart was some generational work, and I love everything about that. But with that being said, it's your boy TWV checking in and checking out. I'll catch you tomorrow for the next one. Peace.